Yeah, I think we set the game up really well. I think going back earlier to the Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley opening partnership, the way that they took the game on and really tried to put the Indian bowlers under pressure. The rate that they scored at allowed us to sort of have that focus on batting once and trying to get as far ahead of the game as we possibly could, and then giving ourselves a good chance of bowling them out. Obviously didn't transpire that way, but we played the game in the way that we wanted to, with how it turned out with them bowling them out. But yeah, I think give a lot of credit to the way that India were able to play the way they did, especially after losing 2 wickets in the first over and our second innings of bowling. Just wasn't meant to be this week.
How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling mentally?
Mentally, decent. Physically, been better.
How's the body? You seem to struggle with your shoulder. Was that this morning, last night? What was the story there?
No, it's just something that's just been sort of stirring away. It's been pretty big workload so far in the series. Another obviously big week last week at Lords, with time spent out in the middle with bat in the hand and obviously overs bowled, and then same again this week. So said it a few times to the guys out there. Pain is just an emotion. So just one of those things.
Is there any chance you could miss out of the Oval or feature as a batter only, or is this still up in the air? Really?
I think you look at how long we've been out in the field and the overs that we bowled as a bowling unit. Everyone's going to be sort of pretty sore and pretty tired going into the last game of the series. So I think there'll be an assessment of everyone, and hopefully we can use these next 2 to 3 days rest period wisely, and then have to make a decision on then. Obviously these recovery days are going to be pretty important, and we might have to make a few decisions to get some fresh legs in, but again that won't be decided until we get closer to the last game.
We'll go Will and then Sydney, and then Chris.
Ben, at tea, both going on and off, you seem to be having some sort of quite animated discussions with Liam Dawson. I don't know what that was about exactly, but I just wondered whether you could explain how you thought he bowled. He obviously got through a hell of a lot of work today and yesterday, but didn't end up taking a wicket. What was your assessment of him on his return to Test cricket?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. It's it's coming into a Test match. For such a long period of time, I think he's done himself. He's had a very, very good week. Not only but I thought his runs that he got as well were very important for us, obviously, with the way that we wanted to bat as long as we possibly could. Creating chances, and balls just weren't sort of going where the fielders were on a couple of occasions. Obviously you have discussions with all your bowlers around what can we look at doing potentially differently, what do you feel is the most threatening, can we look at maybe doing this differently or doing that differently, especially when you get into day 5 and you've got 2 guys out there who spend some time out in the middle. You're always chatting to your bowlers around doing something potentially different, do it with the seam bowlers as well all the time. We tried quite a few different plans, set different fields to try and make the Indian batsmen feel a little bit uncomfortable, but they were able to stand up to everything that we threw at them today. I think Liam Dawson's had a great week, and unfortunately he's just not got the reward with the ball that I think he's deserved.
And can I just ask about events at the end there? You obviously offered a handshake a few minutes before the actual end of the game. You guys seemed a bit frustrated that India didn't accept it. What was it exactly that frustrated you? Was it just your own tiredness, or was it the fact that they were within sight of a personal milestone?
I think we took the game as far as we could with our frontline bowlers. We took it as far as we could to think like we've got a real chance of still winning this game. But as soon as it got to that point where it was the draw's inevitable here, I was never going to risk any of my frontline bowlers with the short turnaround that we have and the workload that we've got through this week and throughout the series as well. As soon as the 15 overs or the last hour was there. There was always going to be a shake hands, but as I said, the only other person who's actually got any bowling workload into them is Harry Brook. But I did have to tell him, I said, please don't do anything stupid. We spent a lot of time out in the field. Can't have you pulling aside or doing anything different. He's naturally going to be fatigued, even if you don't bowl. So I was just like, just get through this period. But yeah, I wasn't going to risk any of my, proper bowling options in that situation when we knew what was going on.
Sydney, then we'll go Chris behind you. Go ahead.
Ben, barring Lords to some extent, batsmen from both sides have made merry scoring a lot of centuries and teams also scoring over 400 runs. And it's been a real hard toil for bowlers, and you've faced it. So what's your assessment of the pitches so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a series so far of hard toil. In particular, the bowling units from both sides. You've really had to work really, really hard for your rewards. And I think as this game got deeper and deeper, it actually became a much harder wicket for right-handers to bat on. I think from that top end there, you've seen a lot more variable bounce from very similar areas. Even when India are bowling to us at the back end of our innings, when we were in a comfortable position, balls still sort of, leaping off the length or keeping a bit low. You've seen that happening quite a lot, even when Shubman and KL were, in a good partnership. There were still balls that were just slightly taking off or keeping low. But even though obviously I'm a left-hander and I spent a bit of time out there, you didn't really feel that was in danger to you as a left-hander. So obviously when Jadeja and Washington came out, didn't feel as threatening with the left-handers. So it was a different wicket for left-handers and right-handers, but you've still got to be able to be good enough and skillful enough to get through the pressures of day 5, particularly when you're behind the game like India were. So got to give a lot of credit to the way that Washington and Jadeja played. That partnership was very, very crucial for them being able to be in the position they are at the end of the game.
Chris, and then we'll go to Mel.
Hi, Ben. After Lords, you said you were going to spend 4 days in bed, and I think you did in the end. I just wondered what you're going to do between now and Thursday to ensure your body is in the best possible shape so that you can play again then.
Probably only 2 because it's 3 days, isn't it? Between the next one. No, I think everyone's going to be pretty similar. Shut it down, rest up, and everyone's going to give themselves the best chance of being available for selection. But we're not going to hide away from the fact that it's been a very tough 4 games so far for the guys who have played, in particular the bowling unit. So, we generally like to get our team out, a couple of days before. But we might have to just take a little bit longer going into this last game, just because of how I want to give everyone as long as they possibly can to be able to recover. Because yes, we're going to the last game of the series 2-1 up, but we know that we still want to go out and put that last big performance in. We kept saying today, just one last push again before one last push next week. So we still know there's a lot of hard work to go into this end of the series.
Just on the shoulder, is it the shoulder, and was today the first time you felt it, or was it something you've been managing throughout the series?
It's actually my bicep tendon. Obviously had quite a lot of workload through it. It's just been creeping around. But yeah, a lot of time out in the middle doing my job as an all-rounder this week, and just got a little bit flared up. But yeah, obviously keep going, and didn't get any worse throughout the day. Just stayed the same, so that's why I kept on going. But yeah, hopefully it settles down and we'll be good as gold for the last game.